I've encountered this apologetic too many times. The problem is that Christians tend to teach large groups of other Christians these rather lame and unconvincing apologetics, but they don't bother to go back when these apologetics are disproved, refuted, torn apart, or mangled to shreds by atheists. So it's possible to destroy it in one argument with a Christian, only to have another come later on with the exact same argument thinking that it's brand new. It seems that Christians are obsessed with airplanes, as I'm sure you've encountered the Boeing 747 being built in a junkyard by a hurricane idea that is somehow supposed to disprove evolution, yet ironically supports evolution. This video is designed to be a shortcut, so you don't have to waste your time explaining the same thing over and over. The argument goes like this. You'll be talking with a Christian about how you think that faith and/or religion is a bad thing. The Christian sees this as their opportunity to try out this new apologetic and say, "Aha! But atheists have just as much faith as Christians do, if not more so." They expect that this will catch you off guard. I mean, it might if you're unfamiliar with this particular apologetic, but most of the time it won't. A bit of advice for Christians. If you see that an atheist is rolling their eyes and taking in a deep sigh, you should stop this apologetic immediately. This is a clear sign that the atheist knows exactly what you're talking about. They've heard this apologetic so many times that they can write the script on what you're going to say for the next 5 minutes. You show your faith whenever you buy an airplane ticket. You don't have any evidence that you'll reach your destination. Your plane could crash. You have to have faith in the engineers that built the plane. You have to have faith in the pilot of the plane. You have to have faith that the plane will stay in the air. You need to have faith in the flight instruments so you don't wind up in the wrong airport if you do land. You have no assurance that you'll get from one airport to another, so you're demonstrating an incredible amount of faith. This is the point where they, Christians, expect us, atheists, to surrender. It's tragic, really, because this is the point where I like to attack. I mean, really. Problem 1. Equivocation. When an atheist is talking about how faith is not a virtue, but is in fact a vice, we have a definition in mind. Faith has many definitions after all. When Christians start talking about how atheists have faith, they are using all definitions of the word faith at once. Here are the definitions of the word faith as I've gathered from Merriam-Webster. I'll paraphrase. 1. An allegiance to duty or a person. Loyalty. Dictionary.com defines this as confidence in a person. 2. Belief and trust in and loyalty to God. Belief in the traditional doctrines of a religion. 2b. Firm belief in something for which there is no proof. 3. Something that is believed, especially with strong conviction. Is it damning when the dictionary thinks that faith in God and faith in something without proof are pretty much the same definition? When an atheist is talking about faith, they're talking about how it is used within the religious sphere. They aren't talking about confidence in an airplane. They're talking about an abstract belief in God based upon no proof. With this in mind, let's revisit this business about an airplane without the equivocation. I had a dear friend who found out I was an atheist. He was a devout Christian, and unfortunately we had a falling out when he couldn't handle my apostasy. He used the Atheists and Airplanes apologetic on me. Here's my response as I wrote it to him. You said that I have to have faith in some things, and you gave the example of flying in an airplane. Well, that example requires far less faith than the claims of Christianity and other religions. What you are talking about is confidence, while I'm talking about unfounded belief in the supernatural. For one thing, I can trust an airplane more than God because I know an airplane exists. I can prove to you the existence of an airplane with any of your 5 senses. I went to school to be a pilot. I can show you the physics of how an airplane works and stays in the sky. I can point to the pilot's flight certificate and explain all of the hours of training the flights he's completed successfully and the pilot's skill. To be a commercial pilot, he has got to have an amazing track record of not crashing planes. I understand the rigorous scrutiny that structures of airplanes have to pass in order to be found flight-worthy by engineers. I have a reasonable expectation that my plane will get to where it's going because airlines would go out of business if they kept dropping people off at the wrong spot or killing them. Or I could talk to any customers I know of that have flew on the airline. Conversely, I don't have to prove to you that the airplane has feelings, thoughts on morality, a son born of a virgin that is also the airplane, or a place called heaven that I go to if I believe in the airplane. There's very little faith involved in my flight, and those parts of my flight that are left up to chance are accounted for in statistics and probability. Given the overwhelming amount of evidence, the situation at hand, basic logic, it is very easy to put faith, or confidence, in my airplane travels. After all, I've flown quite a bit and I've never wound up at the wrong spot. The worst problem I've ever had was a delay. Now, religious faith, the kind based upon a lack of evidence, that's the kind of faith you'd need to believe that your plane won't arrive at the right destination. In order for the hypothetical airplane to require the same kind of faith as belief in your God, you'd need to tweak your example. First of all, the plane would have to be invisible, intangible, improvable, unknowable, and our only knowledge of the plane would be passed down from a 2,000-year-old document with questionable origins. Second, the plane would never actually manifest itself and work directly in someone's life. Instead, you'd have people traveling to their destination by train, car, or boat, and then they'd thank the plane for getting them there. While in the airport, you notice that many people talk to the plane, but the plane never talks back to them. Different groups have different opinions about the plane and characteristics about it, all claiming to have true knowledge of the plane and a personal relationship. Finally, the only people that have gone on the plane never return, and no one has contact with them ever again. No one knows if they got to their destination or even if their destination existed in the first place. The only way you can prove the plane is to ride it, but if you do, you'll never come back and you can't tell anyone else about it. So I won't be exchanging one faith for another. I'll go where wisdom and evidence take me. Sometimes, rather than talk about airplanes, Christians would rather talk about how atheists have faith in scientists. Same trick, different track. For some strange reason, the religious crowd assumes that atheists have a religion of science, that we all agree on the Big Bang theory, evolution, the whole 9 yards. Many of us do, but it has little to do with atheism, per se. Still, let's take this one down. What I usually hear is, well, you're an atheist and you have faith in scientists the same way I have faith in my God. Interesting, because now they're calling in belief structure. Again, they are severely abusing the word faith. I do not have a belief in a supernatural scientist. I do not believe that scientists exist, even though I have no proof of their existence. These are the definitions that apply to their God. What I have is confidence in the scientist's ability to do science. I have confidence that when they get their doctorates at accredited universities, that they have learned something along the way. I have confidence in their findings when other scientists peer review what their colleagues put forth. Most of all, I have confidence in the scientific method. This is not the same as faith in God, not even close. The question is, why does a Christian have faith in God? Well, because they have faith in God. Translated, Christians have confidence in God because they have an allegiance and loyalty to a supernatural God founded upon a belief with no evidence. This is nothing like my faith in scientists. The key is the equivocation of the word faith. Ray Comfort once had a debate with AronRa, link below, it's a great one, in which Ray said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "I have faith in God the same way you have faith in your wife." AronRa was quick to say, "No, you don't." Ray countered with, "You don't have faith in your wife?" Clearly a word game is being played here, and AronRa wasn't going to have any part of it. It was awesome. He answered, "No, I don't." He then went on this great explanation of how he doesn't need to have religious faith to believe in his wife's existence, and an expectation of loyalty from his wife is something else entirely.